So I'm in sunny Florida for workcation, and just leaving the gym, and I was reflecting, kind of thinking about some stuff. And what was coming up for me is, so I read this book called Back in Control that was written by a neurosurgeon that ended up having to go through a lot of back surgeries and had a lot of complications and stuff. And he made a recommendation about don't make life-altering decisions when you're in pain. And that's something I've been reflecting a lot on, because I've been in a lot more pain, kind of up and down, and still just trying to make the best out of my days. The good days are great, and the not so good days, just trying to make the best out of it. And what I've noticed is, like, the days where I'm in a lot of pain, I've had a lot more struggle with emotional regulation. Like, I just find myself more irritated, more angry. I'm just uncomfortable, and it's something that I've really had to work on. I took this emotional intelligence test from this book that I read recently, and I was surprised by my results. I thought, man, I'm going to nail this thing. Like, this is my jam. It's what I've been working on really hard. And I scored average on my testing. And at first I was kind of like embarrassed, and kept looking at my score and thinking, like, oh, okay, like, where's the faults in this. And it read my recommendations, and it was like, oh, okay, like, that's 100% accurate. Read my strengths, I thought that was accurate also. And what I realized was, probably 10-15 years ago, my emotional intelligence was well below average. Like, I struggled with healthy relationships. I struggled with emotional regulation. I struggled with addiction. I just struggled with life, period. I mean, I've been pretty transparent to the point that, I didn't want to live anymore. And so, kind of my whole point to this was, like, you can continue to make progress in your life, and it may not look perfect, right? Like, the back stuff is up and down, but I'm still living and I'm still doing stuff. And I think something that I realized more recently was, like, I've worked really hard on my emotional resilience. If I reflect over even just probably the last, 6-7 years, I went from training MMA and kickboxing almost 5 days a week to trying to find something else to do because of the pandemic when that happened, and decided to focus on running. Took 3 years, got to a place where I could run a marathon, and then my back went out, so now I'm in this journey of trying to figure out what's going to be next for me. But the thing is I always know there's something that I can devote some of my attention towards. And one of the things that I've been working on is trying to be more present, and trying to be more mindful about the way that I show up in the world. Not feeling like I constantly have to be doing something, where before I felt like I couldn't be comfortable unless I had exhausted myself. And so I'm trying to figure out the balance with that, right? Because stagnation isn't a good thing for us, but also over-exhausting ourselves because we don't feel comfortable in our own skin isn't good for us either. So, yeah, I guess maybe that's a lot of self-reflections.